Alright, here we are again. Went through all this wiring, redid some of it. Basically all the nitrous side and a few other things here and there, and basically a lot of things. But anyways, long story short, got the two-step in on this button, wired on with the trans brake in series. So when I hit the button, the trans brake and two-step will be engaged, and when you let off the button, you let the nitrous window switch window switch, progressive, and then trans brake interrupt. All that'll do its thing once you let off and let the nitrous come on. But right now we're just testing what we just did and a few other things, and we'll do a little test on the trans brake. Seems to work pretty good. I got it set at 2500 just for testing. Obviously not going to come out crazy at 2500, but just want to test it out and make sure the wiring's right. Also messed with the MSD ignition controller a little bit, learned about that. Never messed with one, but it's fairly simple. Long story short, without the map hooked up, it's getting 0 volts obviously, so I'm assuming 0 volts or close to 0 volts would be 35 kilopascals. So if it's always saying that 35 kilopascals because it's defaulting to that 0 reading in voltage, I zeroed it out. I zeroed the whole table, but usually this table is populated. So it's an adder table, so it's going to add whatever timing based on vacuum additionally to the base timing table based on RPM. So if you don't zero this table out, if you're not using the map sensor, you're going to have some wacky timing most likely, because I think it had 5 degrees or so in that row. So it would be adding 5 degrees to your whole base map, which obviously is not good. Unless you're accounting for it, which I doubt you are. Because down, I mean, obviously if you run a boost, you should know all this. But if you're running any boost down here above atmospheric at 105, it was pulling timing. So obviously you need to keep this in mind if you get one of these. I'm just now dabbling in one, but it seems pretty simple. I mean, there's 6 positions or 8, however many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10. I was a little off. Long story short, each one's configured differently. So you can select it with the screwdriver physically on the box. Then you still have these settings, which I guess are global, if you want to phrase them that way. Maybe I'm not using that right. Anyways, coil type to auto. That just keeps the guessing out of it, especially if you're chasing yourself with a miss or anything like that. It's based on the reluctor wheel, I believe. But anyways, so yeah, like I said, the launch rev limiter, the two-step, was at 2500 RPM on that test. So that's where that came from. Yeah, timing tables, those are your individual positions on the 6014 MSD. Individual cylinder timing, I guess could be helpful if you're super serious. Temperature, I zeroed this table out also. I'm assuming it's an adder. I'm not going to say that, but I'm sure it is. I zeroed this out because the engine coolant temp sensor is not hooked into this. So it would do the same thing and add whatever values were in this column to your base timing map at the beginning. Yeah, you got a few more things. Your step retard, launch retard. Data acquisition, I guess, is similar to logging on this thing, or is logging. MSD review. I'm not hooked up, so it probably won't do anything, but I haven't used this, but it appears you can log with it, so it seems pretty self-explanatory if you've been around tuning. If not, hopefully this helps you a little bit.